Isang masayang pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayun din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our modules, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Good afternoon, everyone. So, once again, today is Matalino Friday, and we welcome you to the first episode of our Mathematics 10 for quarter 4. Konting push na lang po. ETUlay mathletes, math coaches, and different math Husay schools, konti na lang matatapos ng school year 2021-2022. So once again, welcome to our first week episode. Sa lahat po ng nanonood from entire Philippines, sa ating mga school administrators, supervisors, principals, co-faculty. Shout out po sa Caloocan National Science and Technology High School and SDO Caloocan City. Good afternoon po sa ating lahat. And of course, shout out din po sa aking mga ka-team sa Mathematics 10. We have Tutor of Hill from SDO Bataan and Tutor Ruel from SDO Camarines Sur. So Tutor of Hill is at our backstage. Siya ang ating director today. And of course, Tutor Ruel is always here supporting us. Meron lang po siyang speakership engagement today. So shout out po sa inyo, Tutor of Hill and Tutor Ruel. So welcome once again to our fourth quarter, and today we will be discussing about measures of position for ungrouped data. Pero bago yan, shout out po muna tayo sa mga nandito na sa ating comment section. Ayan, sabi ni Enrico De Lupan, good afternoon po, Tutor of Hill, Tutor Ruel, and Tutor Joy. He's watching on YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel. So hello sa iyo, Enrico, at sana ma-share mo ang ating Facebook link at ang ating YouTube channel link para makapag-subscribe at follow na rin ang inyong mga kaklase, ka-schoolmates at inyong mga teachers. So shout out po sa lahat ng mga nanonood today. And pakihanda na po ang inyong notebook, papel or lapis at inyong pen para matuto today dahil tungkol sa statistics ang ating matututunan. So, congratulations din po. Ngayon wala tayong i-feature na ng mga mathletes of the week kasi nga nagpahinga tayo nitong nakaraang linggo for our Holy Week. Sana nakapagnilay-nilay po tayo at naging way yon to recharge our body and soul. So, shout out po sa mga na-recognize as our excellent tuties, most supportive school, and our most supportive teachers for the third quarter. So ngayong fourth quarter, ang tanong, sino naman kaya? And today, let's start with our lesson about measures of position, and this is for ungrouped data. So linawin lang natin, mathletes, no, kapag sinabi natin ang ungrouped data, kasi sa statistics, kung matatandaan nyo yung mga previous lesson nyo, there are two types of data set. It could be ungrouped and it could be grouped. Paano natin malalaman na ungrouped data ang given na data set? So, obviously, ito ay ungrouped data kapag nakikita natin individually yung mga value or scores na nandun sa set of data. However, it's a group data set if we are now using some frequency distribution table. So, at least two columns meron doon. Yung first column, merong intervals or classes, then the second column will contain the frequency of scores. So, ngayon, ang focus po natin, ungrouped data. Ayan. So, again, we would like to give the credits to our module writers. So our reference for this quarter is still from DepEd Cordillera Administrative Region. We are using their quarter for module 33. And again, the topic is about measures of position for ungrouped data. So thank you so much po for allowing us to use your modules as our reference. And for our objectives, these are the following objectives today. So first is to illustrate the following measures of position. May tatlo po tayo. We have quartile, decile, and percentile. Next is to calculate a specified measure of position. Example, kapag nakarinig kayo later on, meron dyan 90th percentile. So we are to calculate a specified measure of position for based on the given data set. Third is to interpret measures of position. And lastly, to solve problems involving measures of position. So, sa third objective natin, gumamit tayo dyan ng verb na interpret because in statistics, it's not enough that we simply calculate or compute. What's important is to give meaning to our computation, and that is through interpretation. So let's start. So mathletes, are you ready? Because if you are ready, can I see your shout out in our comment sections? Ayan, dumadami po kayo. So sabi ni Dina or Dina, good afternoon po, from De Luna, Dina De Luna, 10 SSE. She's watching from Ocampo National High School, SDO Camarines Sur. Nandyan din po si Angel Lu Viloria. She's watching from San Mariano National High School. Hello sa'yo, Angel Lu. And of course, meron din po tayong mga nanonood from um, San Mariano National High School. And ayan, meron din po tayo from Ocampo Antipolo Colyat High School. Shout out po sa inyo. Simulan na natin mga mathletes. Kung ready na kayo, please type quarter 4 in our comment section. Yan, quarter 4 na, konting-konti na lang, patapos ng school year at makakaramdam na kayo ng bakasyon. Ayan, may mga math coaches din tayong nanonood. Ayan, hello po sa inyo. Hello rin sa iyo, Ryan Nina. Yan, Rhea Nina. Yan. So, before anything else, since we're starting a new lesson, and for quarter 4, it's all about statistics, kasi yung last quarter natin is about probability, let's just have a short pre-test. Tingnan natin kung masasagutan natin to. So if you're ready, this is the first question for our pre-test. Excuse me. The median of a given data set is also the blank. Is it A, first quartile, B, second quartile, C, seventh quartile, or D, none of the above? Sige nga po, pakilagay pre-test number 1. Pakilagay ang item number. Ayan. Thank you for responding with quarter 4. Ibig sabihin, mga ready na kayo. Yan. So, on our comment section, pakilagay po, whether you're watching from YouTube channel or Facebook page ng ETUlay, pakilagay po kung anong sagot sa number 1. The median. Remember when you were in grade 7, we talk about measures of central tendency, and one of its measures is median. Yung tinatawag nating gitnang score, middle score. Yan. Ano yung isa pang tawag sa kanya when we're talking about measure of position? So based on what you know so far, alamin natin. So may sumagot. Yan, sabi ni Pia, ni Rian Nina, ni Renz, ni Monique, ni Harchi, ni Jillian, ni Adam Ross, ni Marinel, at ni Nicole, at may mga sumusunod pa. It's letter B, second quartile. Let's find out if it's correct. Very good, mathletes. The median is also called as the second quartile. They are equivalent. And for letter C, may nakikita kayo dyan, seventh quartile. Wala pong nag-i-exist na seventh quartile. Yan, good job. Now for second item, what measure divides the distribution into 10 equal parts? Tingnan natin. Is it median? Letter A, or letter B, quartile, C, decile, or letter D, percentile? Kindly indicate the item number and then type your answer. A, B, C, or D. Yan, huwag kalimutan ng item number. May clue tayo, distribution, dinidivide or hinahati into 10 equal parts. Median, quartile, decile, or percentile ba yan? Ayan. Sumagot si Alma, si Gerald, si Edshilin, si Jillian, si Joanne, si John Ray, si Marinel, si Angelica, at si Eileen Galasi ng letter C for number 2. Let's find out. Correct, letter C or decile. Yan, good job. Nakaka 2 points na kayo. And last item for our pretest. The first quartile of the data set is equal to the blank. Is it A, 5th decile, B, 25th percentile, C, 50th percentile, or letter D, 75th percentile? First quartile. Yan, ano kaya ang sagot? For number 3, please indicate item number at ilagay kung A, B, C, or D. First quartile, ibig sabihin, sakop niya yung first 25% of the distribution. Saan kaya siya equivalent? Uy, may clue na ako dun ah. Ayan. Number 3. A, B, C, or D. Let's find out. The correct answer is letter B. So, tama po si John Carl Centilla, si Harchie, si Jillian, si Almira Venasoy, si Janine, si Nicole. Ayan. At may mga sumunod pa, si Angelica, si Percival, si Iza. Yan, pakishare po ulit ang link sa ating mga group chat, sa ating Facebook group or Facebook pages ng ating mga schools at sa inyong mga kaklase, schoolmates, pinsan, kamag-anak at sa inyong mga teachers. Para naman alam nila at panood din sila, natututo sila kasama natin. Ayan, sinong nakakuha ng 3/3? Pakilagay naman ang score sa ating comment section, Mathletes. Mukhang magandang simula to kung kayo naka 3/3 or 2/3 at least. Big sabihin, kahit wala pa tayong new lesson for today, you have the idea on what we're going to talk about for this episode. Okay, so Maths in. Magkakaroon muna tayo ng kwentuhan. So, I believe you're familiar with Chinese zodiac legends. Yan, mga nagtatanong, minsan naniniwala, ano kayang lucky color ko? Ano kaya yung advice sa akin dahil ito yung Chinese zodiac sign ko. So, pagkukwentuhan natin. So, according to this legend, the Jade Emperor made an order to designate animals as the calendar signs. Yan. There are 12 animals, Mathletes. The 12 animals that arrive first in the banquet shall be selected. On that day, the rat got up early and rushed to the banquet. On his way, he met the ox and asked the ox to carry him on his back. As the two were approaching the site, the rat slid in front of the ox and became the first lucky animal of the Chinese zodiac. So ano daw yung animal na unang-una? First lucky animal sa ating Chinese zodiac. Can you please type the name of that animal in our comment section? Yan, anong hayop daw? Based on our story, based on our legend na binasa natin. Correct, it's rat. Tasan siya sumakay sa isang ox. Now, the question is, from this, based on this legend, do you know the most popular Chinese zodiac legend? So, tingnan natin, no? Following rat and ox, tingnan po ang pagkakasunod-sunod based on our image. Following rat and ox are tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. So, kung familiar kayo sa ganito, Chinese zodiac, may you please share anong Chinese zodiac ang meron kayo? Kasi for example, sa akin, kung pagbabasehan ko to, ang aking Chinese zodiac ay rooster. Pinanganak ako ng Year of the Rooster. What about you? Kung pamilyar, sige, you may share it in our comment section. Yan. So, tingnan mabuti yung image na yan. Yan yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng ating mga Chinese zodiac legend based on the legend. Ayan, sabi ni Harchie, siya raw ay Year of the Dog. Si Kimberly Tapugay naman ay, nawala. Si Kimberly Tapugay naman ay horse. Tama ba? Ayan. Si Harchie Dog, Kimberly Horse, si John Carlson, si Rainier, may zodiac sign po is pig. Ayan. Rooster naman daw si John Patrick Moreno at rooster din si Rian niya. Yan, thank you for sharing, Mathletes. Now, let's proceed. So here, I have two questions based on the legend and based on the image that I presented. So first, which of the following belongs to the first 50% that arrive earlier than the rest of the group? Tapos yung pangalawang tanong, which of the following belongs to the second 50% that arrive later than the rest of the group? But you will be answering this through the use of this image. Ayan, tingnan ulit yung image na present natin. So this is the first question. Which of the following belongs to the first 50% that arrive earlier than the rest of the group? So it's important that as we answer this question, titignan natin ilan ba lahat ng zodiac characters na meron tayo dito, yung Chinese zodiac animals. Sige nga, ilan ang meron tayo dito? Please type in our comment section, ilan lahat? From rat going to pig, ilan? Tama, there are 12. So sige nga, which of the following belongs to the first 50% that arrive earlier than the rest of the group? So take note that based on the image, these animals on the image are arranged accordingly, no? Arrange siya kung sino yung unang dumating. So si rat, followed by ox, tiger, rabbit, and so on hanggang pig. Ibig sabihin, as we interpret this image, yung pig ang pinakahuling dumating. Ang bagal siguro kumilos ng pig. Ayan. So, anong sagot nyo for number 1? All of the above daw. Which of the following belongs to the first 50% that arrive earlier than the rest of the group? Ayan, letter D, all of the above. That's correct. Kasi nandyan si tiger, nandyan si rabbit, nandyan si dragon. Ano yung first 50%? Ano yung sakop nun? From rat going to snake. Kasi yun yung first half, yung first na 6. Very good. Now, what if we... So, itong naka-bracket, yan nakikita nyo. From rat to snake, that is the first 50%. Mga maagang dumating. What about the second question? Good day din sa'yo, Jasmine, Nes Bukag, and Julia Rose Valdez. What about for the second item? Which of the following belongs to the second 50% that arrive later than the rest of the group? Is it A, horse, B, snake, C, dragon, or D, none of the above? Second 50% naman. Kung ang upper half natin kanina is from rat to snake, ang tinatanong naman dito ay yung second 50%. A, B, C, or D? Ang sagot ni Gerald ay A. Si Daveson naman ay horse. So, si Percival, ayan, ang bilis ng ating mga comment section. D naman ang sagot, so none of the above. Si Adam Ross, ang sagot niya ay A. Ganon din si Angel, letter A. Si Earl Jeffrey, letter C. So, tignan natin. Look at the bracket. We're talking about the second 50%, so yung pangalawang kalahati, if the first half is from rat to snake, based on our previous item, now the second 50% is from horse to pig. Ang tanong sa pagpipilian, alin dyan ang kabilang doon sa second 50%? And the correct answer is letter A. So, very good yung mga sumagot ng letter A. So, siguro nalito, sinama si snake, hindi na po, kasi ang snake ay kabilang sa first 50%. Ang dragon, hindi rin, kabilang yan sa first 50%. Now, why do we need to have this kind of exercise based on the given story? Because we are talking about measures of possession. Kung mapapansin nyo, ang bawat animal na nandyan sa image ay meron silang possession. Diba? Naka-arrange nga sila in order eh. Now, what is our lesson for today? It's all about measure of possession. You may take a screenshot of our definition. So, in statistics, when we say measure of possession, mathletes, it refers to the measure by which the possession of a data is determined through its value. Yan. And pag sinabi nating measures of possession, katulad niyan, tingnan natin, di ba sabi natin from rat to snake is the first 50%, we can actually interpret certain situation in different ways. For example, looking at this image and then we're talking about rat to snake, it's the they belong, rat to snake, these 6 animals belong to the first 50%. Pwede nating interpret that the tiger, asan yung tiger dyan? Ayan no, yung pangatlong picture, ang cute ng tiger. The tiger belongs to the first 50% or top 50% of the group that arrived earlier than the rest of the animals. It's how we interpret this image. So, pwede rin, halimbawa ito naman, ano yung nakikita natin? 25%. Bakit 25%? Kumbaga, it's 1/4, 1/4. Kaya ang sakop niya ay 3 animals. Remember that 12, there are 12 animals. So, 12 divided by 4, 3. Ang bawat quarter niyan ay may 3 animals. So, yung nasa first 25% natin, kasama yung rat, yung ox, yung tiger. Paano natin pwedeng i-interpret kaya yan? That here, the tiger belongs to the first 25% or top 25% of the group that arrived earlier than the rest of the animals. Yan. Practicing tayo ng interpretation. And lastly, paano kapag nakakita naman tayo ng ganyang image? Tingnan niyo yung magkasunod na image. Kanina, first 25%, rat, ox, tiger. Yung sumunod na image, from rabbit going to pig, that's the 75%. That's the remaining 75%. Pwede nating i-interpret yan that the tiger arrived earlier than 75% of the animals. Kung kanina sa pangalawang image, yung tiger ay dumating, kasama siya dun sa first 25% na dumating ng mas maaga kumpara dun sa mga kasama niyang animals. Dito naman sa third image, we can say that the tiger arrived earlier than 75% of the animals. We're comparing his position, the tiger's position, from the 75% of animals. So, ibig sabihin, yung tiger dumating ng mas maaga kay rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. Kasi yung rabbit to pig, sila yung nasa 75% after tiger. So, that's measure of position. Now, we are talking about quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. Yan po ang mga pangalan ng ating measures of position. Kumbaga, mathletes, if for measures of central tendency, we have mean, median, mode. Sa measures of position naman, meron tayong quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. So, let's define each type. So, quartiles, madali lang tandaan. When we say quartiles, values which divide a list of ordered numbers into 4 equal parts. So, quar, di ba? Yung mga prefix na ginagamit natin. Quarter. Kapag sa isang school year, meron tayong 4 na quarters. So, hinahati sa 4 na equal parts. So, hindi lang basta-bastang parts. They must be equal. And, since we are dividing the list of ordered numbers into 4 equal parts, what do we expect? May 3 quartiles. At dinedenote natin or inonote natin, ito yung mga representations, Q sub 1, Q sub 2, Q sub 3. For convenience, minsan pag tinatawag natin, minsan nasa-shortcut natin Q1, Q2, Q3. Yan. So, visually, this is how we illustrate quartiles. So, yung isang buong list of ordered numbers or isang buong bahagi, hahatiin natin sa 4 na equal parts. At syempre, meron tayo dyang 3 quartiles, yung mga nasa pagitan. O hindi ibig sabihin na dahil may quartiles tayo, 4 ang quartiles. Again, quartiles would mean that the list of ordered numbers or dataset will be divided into 4 equal parts, making them, or as a result, there will be 3 quartiles. At ang pangalan nun, Q sub 1, Q sub 2, Q sub 3. Kung gagamitin natin yung image kanina regarding the 12 Chinese zodiac animals, pwede nating i-illustrate in this way. Yan. Kunyari, list of Chinese zodiac animals, we're going to divide it into 4 equal parts. Since 12 is divisible by 4, ibig sabihin sa bawat unit, meron kang tig-3 animals. At yung nasa pagitan, for example, ni rooster at monkey, nandyan yung Q1, pagitan ng horse at snake, nandyan yung Q2, pagitan ng rabbit at tiger, nandyan yung Q3. Yan. So, just to show some illustration para naintindihan natin yung concept ng quartiles visually. And of course, for deciles, almost the same lang naman. Ano yung pinapalitan natin? If it's deciles, based on the prefix na DEC, ilan po yun? Kung ang quarter ay 4, ang deciles ay 10. So, we divide the list of ordered numbers into 10 equal parts, meaning to say there will be 9 deciles. At tingnan pong mabuti ang ating mga notations. D sub 1, D sub 2, hanggang D sub 9. Tandaan po ha, wala kayong makikita dyang D sub 10, D sub 11, D sub 12. Hanggang D sub 9 lamang po. So, visually, we can have this illustration. List of ordered numbers, yung dataset mo, hatiin sa 10 equal parts. So, makaka-create ka ng 9 deciles. Ayan. Very good, Rainiel. There are 10 equal parts. What about for percentiles? Sige, habang hindi ko pa pine-present, ano naman ang percentiles? How many equal parts and how many percentiles do we have? Based on the definitions of quartiles and deciles. Sige nga, mathletes. Can you see the pattern? So, for quartiles, 4 equal parts, 3 quartiles. For decils, 10 equal parts, 9 decils. For percentiles, how many equal parts? Very good, Harchi, Rainiel. There are 100 equal parts. Tama si John Patrick, there are 99 percentiles. Ayan, dahil sobrang haba ng 1 to 99, pwede nating i-present ng ganito. So again, the list of ordered numbers will be divided into 100 equal parts. 99 percentiles ang makikreate natin. Notation will be P sub 1, P sub 2, hanggang P sub 99. Ang tanong, is there P sub 105? Wala. So, hanggang 99 lamang po. At syempre, dahil sobrang liliit na nga ng units kapag ang isang list ay hinati natin into 100 equal parts, so for for convenience sa ating image, pwede nating i-present ng ganito. So for example, may P sub 10, hinati lang din siya sa 10. Pero syempre, when we're talking about percentiles, meron dyang maliliit na unit, mga butal. For example, in between P sub 10 and P sub 20, makikita natin dyan yung P sub 11, P sub 12, hanggang P sub 19. So hindi na lang natin papakita sa image kasi sobrang liliit na siya. Okay? And that's our lesson. Tignan natin ang kanilang relationship. Oops, sumobra lang ng pag-crop. Yan. Tingnan po mabuti. What's the relationship of quartiles, decils, percentiles? Imagine a same object being divided by 4, by 10, by 100 equal parts. Pagtatapat-tapatin natin, may makikita tayo dyang common or equivalence rather. Meron tayong makikita dyang equivalent values. Bilugan natin yan. Yan, yung pinakasentro. Q2 or Q sub 2, second quartile, D sub 5, fifth decile, P sub 50 or 50th percentile, sila ay equivalent sa isa't isa. And they are also equivalent to one of the measures of central tendencies that we discussed before. Sana natatandaan nyo pa. Starts with M, which is also regarded as the middle number. Ang Q2, tandaan po ito ha, baka lumabas mamaya sa ating challenge. So here, remember that Q sub 2, second quartile, is equal to the fifth decile, to the 50th percentile, and tama si John Patrick, correct, siya ay equal din sa median. Yan, naalala nila. Yan, equal po yan sa median. Yan. So here, let's calculate. Yan, so let's calculate our quartiles, decils, and percentiles of ungrouped data. So, specifically, we're going to use this method, Mendenhall. We read it as Mendenhall and Sinsich method. So, hopefully, tama ko namang na-pronounce, lalo yung Sinsich. Kasi it's my first time to know na ito pala yung tawag dito sa method na yon. So, Mendenhall and Sinsich method. So, for quartiles, let's have the first example. Okay, si Tutor of Hill, in our example, is a coffee shop owner. Avhil, a coffee shop owner, recorded the number of orders of the different coffee drinks in a day, which value is located at the first quartile. So, ang tanong, hanapin natin yung value na nakalocate or nakaposition sa first quartile or Q sub 1. So, ito po ang kanyang dataset. Ayan. So, merong coffee variation sa first column, and then we also have here number of orders for the second column. So, based on this problem, using Mendenhall and Sinsich method, ito po ang ating step. So, please focus now on how to do it. So, first step, dahil tayo ay nag-aaral about measures of position, it's important that we arrange first the values in ascending order. When we say ascending, that is from least to greatest value. So, ito yung given natin. Number of orders, nasa second column, may 5, may 8, 10. If we arrange it in ascending order, we start from 2, followed by 3, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So, bilangin muna nga natin, ilan din pala ang data na meron tayo dito. So, 5, from Americano to Cortado, take note, there are 9. There are 9 values in the given data set. We're talking about ungrouped data. So, naka-arrange na siya. Alam na natin kung ilan ang value sa dataset. Step 2 is to locate the position of Q sub 1. Paano natin ilolocate ang position ng Q sub 1 or yung first quartile? We will be using this formula. Ito na yung method na tinatawag nating Mendenhall and Sinsich method. So, meron kayo makikita I over 4 times n plus 1. I over 4 times n plus 1. Yung n dyan, that refers to the number of values in the given dataset. So, ilan nga ulit lahat? May siyam tayong naka-record na number of orders based sa ating given dataset. Tapos, ano yung I? Yung I ay yung value, for example, Q sub 1. Value nung nasa subscript natin. So, since Q sub 1 yan, ang I natin ay 1. Ngayon, ang tanong, why is it being divided by 4? 4 because we are to solve quartiles. Remember that by definition, quartiles, ito yung values kung saan yung set of ordered numbers, list of ordered numbers, is being divided into 4 equal parts. So again, I over 4 times n plus 1. At after daw nun, pagkagamit ng formula, we need to round up to the nearest integer. Try natin. So here, we are to solve for Q sub 1, which means that I will be equal to 1. And since there are 9 values in the dataset, so we let n be equal to 9. So substituting now the values of n and I doon sa ating formula, kung saan inonote natin siya as L, capital L, para lang malocate natin yung position. So that is 1/4 times n plus 1, which will be 1/4 times 9 plus 1. Simplifying that, we'll have 1/4 times 10. And finally, we solve that this is equal to 2.5. Now, meron pa siyang kadugtong sa step 2. We need to round up to the nearest integer. I want to emphasize here, mathletes, na yung round up at round off ay magkaiba. So, round up to the nearest integer, so halimbawa 2.5 yan, ano yung kasunod niyang integer na mas mataas sa kanya? Sige nga, ano yung integer na mas mataas sa kanya? So, correct, that is 3. Yan. So, that is 3. The computed value 2.5 becomes 3 after rounding up. Rounding up tayo. Iba din po yung rounding off. Mamaya explain natin sa next example. So, from 2.5, gagamitin na natin ay 3. Saan natin ngayon gagamitin yung 3 na yan? Proceed tayo sa step 3. Now, find the Lth value in the dataset. Since Q1, yung na-solve natin kanina, yung Q sub 1, is the third data element. Wala, teacher, tutor, saan po galing yung third data element? Dito, yung 2.5 niya round up natin, kaya 3, ibig sabihin nun, yung value na nasa first quartile ay yung third data element natin dun sa nilista natin in ascending order. Diba, meron tayong nilista from least to greatest, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From that list, hanapin natin yung third data element, pangatlo. Ano ba dyan ang pangatlo? Sige nga, type in our comment section. Alin dyan ang pangatlo? Ayan, tama. That is 5. So, from left going to right, 5 is the third data element, which means that 5 is located at the first quartile of the given dataset. Yan. Ano yung nakikita natin dyan, tatlong dots na parang pa-triangle? It's a shortcut symbol for therefore or conclusion. So we conclude that Q sub 1 is equal to 5. The value located at the first quartile of the given dataset is 5. So again, first step is to arrange the values in ascending order. Second is to locate the position using the formula. Kung quartile yan, I over 4 times n plus 1. Tapos, i-round up natin to the nearest integer. And then third is to find the Lth value. So, tingnan natin kung, and then lastly is to interpret. Now, for the second example, we will be using the same situation and same data set, pero ang hahanapin natin, third quartile. Get ready, mathletes. Can you locate the third quartile from this example? Yan. Ayan, tingnan nga natin kung malolocate. Ayan, tingnan natin sa ating comment section kung malolocate ng ating mga mathletes. Oops. Ayan. Ano nga ulit ang first step? So first is to arrange the values in ascending order. Second is to locate the position of Q sub 3. So nilagay ko na dito automatically yung formula ha. Mapapansin nyo, instead o kanina, 'di ba, I over 4. So dahil hinahanapan natin ay Q sub 3 or third quartile, nilagay ko na kagad dito para guided pa rin kayo sa pagsosolve. 3/4 since we're solving for the third quartile times n plus 1, and we need to round up to the nearest integer. And third step is to find the nth value in the dataset. So sige nga, mathletes. Ayan. So, kung i-arrange, may mga nakikita na akong sumagot sa ating comment section. So, sabi nila 7.5, tapos round up daw, sabi ni Ara Jane, Anyo Nuevo, round up is 8. Anong ibig sabihin ng 8 na yan? Hahanapin mo ngayon doon sa list of ordered numbers natin yung pang-8, yung pang-8. So, again, step 1 is to arrange the values in ascending order. Ayan na yung naka-arrange natin. Locate the position of Q sub 3 using the formula. This time, you will be using 3/4 times n plus 1. So, 3/4 of 10 is, tama kayo, that's 7.5. The computed value now, which is 7.5, will become 8 after rounding up. And, hindi dyan natatapos. Ayan, hindi dyan natatapos. Meron pa tayong step 3. Hanapin natin ngayon kung ano yung pang-8 data element, and that will be the value located at the third quartile dapat ito. Yan. Hindi ko napalitan yung, sorry, may error. At the first quartile yung nakalagay dito, but we're finding for the Q3, it must be third quartile. So typo error ko po ito, pasensya na. So located at the third quartile. Alin dito from 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ang pang-8 data element? Very good, John Patrick Malien Moreno. 9 daw ang quartile 3. Ganon din si Mark Ryan Gonzalez at si Angel Lu Veloria, Erin Alcantara, and Gerald Cultivo. Very good. The score or the value located at the third quartile is 9, which means wherein we can conclude that the value located at the third quartile of this given data set is 9. Good job. Yan. So, kung nasa third quartile yan, ibig sabihin, 75% kasama siya dun sa top 75% nung number of orders. Yan. Next. Dahil tapos na tayo sa quartiles, we're still using Mendenhall and Sinsich method. Let's proceed to examples that involve deciles. Ayan. So, example number 3, mathletes, alam kong ready pa rin kayo. We have here Mr. Ling, who is an English teacher. He is interested in the reading speed of his students. So, we are talking about the reading speed of Mr. Ling's students. Yan. So, here, the following are the numbers of words his students can read in 1 minute. 50, 25, 23, 30, 42, 20, 13, 16, 16, 10, 12, 11, 11, 11, 19. Tip, mathletes, kapag binigyan kayo ng ungrouped dataset, bilangin kagad kung ilan ba yung values or scores na included doon sa ungrouped dataset. Okay, bilangin kagad. Then, next step is to arrange them in ascending order. Now, our task for example number 3 is this. We have to find the 7th decile. Let's find the 7th decile, or in notation, we say that that is D sub 7. You're ready? If you're ready, then let's start with these steps. So same steps lang, pero may konting-konting changes lang when it comes to formula. So syempre, itong ating given, yung list of numbers, nakikita natin, obviously, this is not yet arranged in ascending order. So, first step is to arrange the values in ascending order. Yan. So, arrange natin. Tada! Nandyan na from 10. Meaning, kung interpret natin to based on the given, sabi ito ay reading speed ng kanyang mga estudyante. So, sa mga kinuhang data ni Mr. Ling, 10 is the lowest reading speed that he was able to note. Tapos ang highest naman ay 50. Fifth number of words his students can read in 1 minute. So, yung 10, ibig sabihin niyan 10 words per minute, pinakamababa, at ang maximum niya ay 50 words per minute. Now that we were able to arrange the values in ascending order, ang ganda ring tignan kasi makikita mo yung minimum and maximum value. Step 2 is to locate the position of D sub 7. Again, D sub 7 is our 7th decile. Look at the formula that we're going to use. Nandyan pa rin yung presence ng I tsaka ng N. Ano nga ulit ang N? It refers to the number of values in the given data set. Ilang data meron tayo dun sa nakolekta ni Mr. Ling? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 ang na-record niya. Yan. So, may I. Saan manggagaling yung I? Doon sa subscript ng ating position, D sub 7. Pero may makikita kayo, kanina ginamit natin ay 4, this time it's 10. And why is it 10? Because we're talking about deciles. So sana malinaw yan, no? So since we are to solve for D sub 7, I will be 7, and since there are 15 values in the data set, it means that N will be 15. So using these values of I and N, sige nga, mathletes, sabayan nyo akong mag-solve. Can you find out what is the value of L? Tapos after finding the value of L, i-round up ninyo. May nakasagot ng ano, ayan, 1.12, sabi ni John Patrick, may 15, may 11.2 kay Gerald na sagot. Sige nga po, 7 over 10 times N plus 1, wherein N is 15. Sige, ating alamin. Yan. Habang tayo ay nag-share ng ating link. Okay, let's find out. Yan, sabi ni Hannah ni Daveson, 12 daw, tsaka ni Ria Nina, 12. 12 ang alin? Yung value ng magiging possession, 12 possession, yung L possession na sinasabi. So, I is 7, N is 15, 7 over 10 times 15 plus 1, or 7 over 10 times 16 will give us 11.2. So, tama yung may mga nag-solve kanina, tas ang lumabas ay 11.2. Pero, remember to round it up. Ayan. Ngayon, baka malito po tayo. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina earlier. Round off, OFF, is different from round up. Pag sinabi po natin dito na round up to the nearest integer, kung may 11.2 ka, ang gagamitin natin ay yung kasunod kagad na integer na mas mataas, which is 12. So, yung round off naman, kasi 'di ba meron tayong rules for rounding off numbers. Pag ang finalo natin ay rounding off numbers, ang 11.2, pag ni-round off ay magiging 11. Okay? Kasi 0.2 yung butal niya. So, kailan lang ba tayo nagra-round off na magiging 12 yan? It's if the given is 11.5, 0.6, 0.8, 0.9. Ang round off niyan ay 12. So, kapag ni-round off natin ang 11.2, 11. Kaya malinaw po dapat sa atin na ang sinusundan natin dito sa Mendenhall and Sinsich method ay rounding up to the nearest integer. Okay, so ang 11.2 ay magiging 12 after rounding up. And for step 3, that is our Lth value. So, since D7 is the 12th data element, doon sa inarrange natin in ascending order, ano kayang value niyan? Pakitignan po ulit mga mathletes, alin sa values na nandito sa listahan natin ang pang 12? Kasi yan ang magiging score or value natin na nakalocate sa 7th decile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nahahanap nyo na ba? Sabi ni John Patrick, 25. Si Hannah, nagtanong siya, 30 is the D sub 7. So, she's not yet sure. Si Harchie naman ay 25. Ganon din si Rosemary Solon na nanonood from Caloocan City. Ayan, si Adam Ross naman ay 25. Let's find out. D sub 7 is 25. Good job, mathletes. So therefore, D sub 7 is 25, and we interpret it like this: the value located at the 7th decile of the given dataset is 25. And pag sinabi natin, matlits, na D sub 7 or 7th decile, ang sakop niyan ay yung top 70%. So kabilang yung 25 sa top 70% ng reading speed ng mga reading speed na na-record ni Mr. Ling sa kanyang English class. Yan. So top 70%. So halimbawa, ako yung estudyante na may reading speed na 25, ibig sabihin 25 words per minute, I belong to the top 70% of Mr. Ling's class. Gets nyo ang interpretation? So ganun po yun. That's why it's important to understand what measures of position is. Lastly, percentiles naman. So syempre, tapos na tayo sa quartiles, deciles, and wala pa tayong example sa percentiles. Still, we're using Mendenhall and Sinsich method. So for example number 4, we're still using the same situation. An example dun sa Mr. Ling's English class wherein he recorded the reading speed of his students. But this time, we are to solve for the 70th percentile, or in notation, it's P sub 70. Are we ready? Feeling ko yung iba kasi dito, kahit hindi na mag-solve for example number 4, may sagot na rin sila. But if you don't have yet any idea, sige, step by step tayo. So again, step 1, arrange the values in ascending order. So, alam na natin yung ascending order ng values kanina. So, from 10 going to 50. Next, step 2, let's locate the position of P sub 70, but look at the formula that we're going to use. It's I over 100 times N plus 1. Bakit 100? Because we're talking about percentiles. We divide the list of ordered numbers into 100 equal parts. And then, of course, to round up to the nearest integer. So, hello din sa'yo, Riza May Carpio, Jillian Ibanez Manuel, and Dave Sanjao. Yan. Okay, so here, we are to solve for P sub 70, which means that I is equal to 70, and N will be equal to 15 dahil meron tayong 15 values sa ating dataset. Let's find out. L will be equal to 70 over 100 times N plus 1, which means that we are to multiply 70 over 100 or simply 7 over 10. Familiar kaya sa inyo? Yan, 70 over 100 times 16. And that is 11.2. Ayan, tama si Kimberly Tapugay, si Ara Jane Anyo Nuevo, that P sub 70 will have an L position, which is 12. So the computed value, 11.2 becomes 12 now after rounding up. So if it's 12, what does it mean for third step? What is now our 12th data element? Yan. Based on this data set, we're still using the previous example. Correct. It's 25. So, lagyan natin ng notation. So, katulad nung kay Gerald Cultivo, P sub 70 is equal to 25. Good job. So, P sub 70 is equal to 25, which means that the value located at the 70th percentile of the given dataset is 25. So, bakit ganon? Yung kanina, D sub 7, 25 din ang value. Same yung na-compute natin, 11.2. Pag ni-round up, 12. Kaya hinanap natin yung 12 data element. Ganon din dito sa 70th percentile. What do we mean by this? So, we can observe some pattern or some relationship. So, here, let's say we are dividing same object into equal parts. Yung unang figure, hinati sa 4. Yung pangalawa sa 10. Yung pangatlong figure, hinati sa 100 equal parts. Makikita natin dito yung D sub 7 and P sub 70. And they are actually equivalent. So, please take note of that. D sub 7 is equal to P sub 70. Kaya naging ganun yung results natin sa example number 3 and 4. Why are they equivalent? Because D sub 7 is part of the top 70% of that dataset. Ganun din si P sub 70. That includes, P sub 70 belongs to the top 70% of the given dataset. So kanina, ang kinuha nating relationship nung early stage pa lang ng ating discussion, yung Q sub 2, D sub 5, P sub 50. Which means that we can find some relationships among quartiles, decile, and percentiles. Mukhang malinaw at tandang-tanda na natin ang ating steps for solving quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. That's why we have to check if we really understand our lesson. Let's have our quick check challenge. Again, lalagyan nyo po ng item number, tapos capital letter ng inyong sagot sa ating comment section. Yan, sabi ni Dave Sonjao, decile 7 is equal to 70th percentile. Very good. That's correct. So, let's have number 1. Get ready, mathletes. Let's have the first question. Which measure divides the dataset or distribution into 100 equal parts? Lagyan ng item number and then yung sagot ninyo sa ating comment section. Is it A, median, B, quartile, C, decile, or D, percentile? Sige, sagot po tayo. Okay, yan, may sagot na sila. Number 1 letter D daw, which is percentile, and you are correct. Percentile, from the prefix that this word used, percent, which means 100. Good job. Number 2, the second quartile of the dataset is equal to the blank. Is it A, 4th decile, B, 25th percentile, C, 50th percentile, or D, 75th percentile? Emphasis is given to second quartile. The second quartile of the dataset is equal to the blank. Kung second quartile yan, big sabihin, yan yung pinakagitna, no? So, saan kaya siya equivalent? So that divides the dataset into upper 50%, dinidivide niya, gitna siya, upper 50% and lower 50%. So, ang sagot nila Angel Lu, Harchi, Rianinia, John Patrick ay letter C for number 2, which is 50th percentile. Let's find out. You're correct. It's 50th percentile. Ang second quartile po ay equivalent din sa median, no? So, siya yung naghahati dun sa upper 50% and lower 50% ng distribution. So, ganun din yung 50th percentile. Good job. For number 3, may computation tayo, mathletes, and you will be given maximum of 1 minute to answer. So, look at our problem. Let's refer to the following set of scores obtained by the students in a mathematics 10. So, mathematics test, rather. So, find D sub 1. So, D sub 1 or the first decile. Score located at the first decile. So, hindi ko na kayo masyadong pinahirapan since this is just a quick check challenge. I already arranged the given dataset in ascending order. Pero ang hahanapin nyo ay yung value ng D sub 1. So, we have here the options. Is it 11 for letter A, B 17, C 23, or D 34? You have 1 minute. Hopefully, nakashare yung audio. Ayan. Yan. So, wag kabahan. What will be the answer for number 3? Which among these scores for mathematics test is located at D sub 1? So, again, first step is to arrange it in ascending order, pero dahil naka-arrange na sa descending order, next step is to locate the D sub 1. Locate the position of D sub 1 by using the I over 10 times n plus 1 formula. Kaya ang tanong dyan, ilan ba lahat ng values ang nasa dataset natin? Plus 1, tapos multiplied by 1 over 10. Then round up to the nearest integer, hanapin yung nth element. May mga sagot na sila sa ating comment section, and that is number 3, letter B ang kanilang sagot. Let's find out. Oops. Correct. It's letter B. D sub 1 is equal to 17. So, tama si Kay, si Percival, si Harchi, si Angelu, si Jeneline, si Rosemary, at marami pang iba, sila Pia. Ayan. So, bakit nga ba? So, kung hindi po natin na sundan or hindi umabot sa oras yung ating solution, this is how we solve number 3. Since we're done with step 1, naka-arrange na ang ating given data set, let's proceed to step 2. So, I sub 10, I is equal to 1 because we are given d sub 1, and the data set is composed of 17 values, so n is 17. So, we solve for the product of 1 over 10 and 18. And that will give us 1.8. Now, we need to round up 1.8 and that becomes 2. Ano ibig sabihin ng 2 dyan? Ang step 3 natin is to locate the second data element. At yun ay 17. Which means that the score located at the first decile of the given mathematics course is 17. So, belong siya sa, ayan, D sub 1. Okay, what about for step 4? Using the same set of scores in item 3, how many scores are higher than D sub 1? Dahil tapos nyo ng sagutan kung ano ba yung score na located sa D sub 1, alamin natin kung mai-interpret nyo rin ang sagot for number 4. How many scores are higher than D sub 1? Is it A3, B11, C13, D15? For 30 seconds, ilang scores daw based on the given dataset ang mas mataas doon sa score na nandoon sa first decile? Remember that the first decile that you computed in item number 3 is 17. Ilan dyan sa 17 scores na yan ang mas mataas sa score na nasa first decile? Bilang, and time's up. Ayan, may mga sumagot ng D for number 4 and you're correct, there are 15. So 17 is our first, is located at the first decile. So from 23 up to 99, lahat ng score na yan mas mataas sa 17 and there will be 15 scores. Good job. Lastly, using the same set of scores in item number 3. So parehas lang na item po ha. Ang hahanapin, ito kahit walang 30 seconds, tingin ko kayang-kaya niyong masolve. Find P sub 50 or the 50th percentile. You can recall the relationship that we observed earlier. Saan nga ba equivalent ang P50 or P sub 50? So hanapin daw yung score na nakalocate sa 50th percentile. Is it A11, B99, C45, or D78? For 30 seconds. Pero dahil ito nga ay naka-arrange na in ascending order, visually, kayang-kaya nyong makita ano dyan yung nakalocate sa 50th percentile. O diba may sagot na kagad ang iba. Ayan, sabi ni Gerald Cultivo para sa item number 4 kanina, 17 minus 2. Ayan, 15. Kaya 15 ang sagot. Dito naman sa 5, may sumasagot na letter C. Sabi ni Catherine Obina, ni Jenny, ni John Patrick, ni Harchie, letter C ang kanilang sagot, which is 45. Mukhang hindi na nag-solve tong mga batang to. Ayan, let's find out if you're correct. Letter C is correct. Letter C is the correct answer for number 5. Bakit 45 yung score na nakalocate sa phi sub 50? P sub 50. Ayan. So, remember that P sub 50 or 50th percentile is equivalent to the median or the middle number. At dahil yung dataset na given natin is composed of 17 scores or values, odd number naman siya, no? Hanapin natin yung pinakagitna, yung middle number. At mag-meet tayo saan? Sa 45. So, kung 17 yan, ibig sabihin, magiging gitna yan, alisin mo yung first 8, yung pang-siyam dyan, yun yung pinaka middle score natin, hinahati niya yung dataset into 2 equal parts. So, ano nga yung computation natin pag sa median, sa isang ungrouped data? N plus 1 over 2. So, 17 plus 1, 18, divided by 2, 9. Yun yung shortcut sa median, right, mathletes? So, meron tayong, yung score na 45 ay yung pang 9th element doon sa ating dataset. So, hopefully, nare-recall nyo rin yung ganong shortcut based on your discussion about measures of central tendency when you were in grade 7 or grade 8. Yan. Paki-type naman po, ayan, paki-type naman po sa ating comment section ang naging score nyo sa ating quick check challenge. Ilan ang score mo, Mathlete? Did you get 5 over 5, 4 over 5, 3 over 5? Hopefully, wala namang naka 1 or 2 over 5 dyan. Yan. Tingin ko maraming nakakuha ng mataas na score today kasi kuhang-kuha ang ating simple steps. Ayan, sabi ni Gerald, ni John Ray, ni Harchi, ni Ria Nina, ni Hannah, they got 5 over 5. Very good. Well done, Mathletes. Nakakuha kayo ng perfect score. And hopefully, ma-apply nyo ang natutunan nyo sa ating quarter for week 1 math challenge. So, Mathletes, are you now ready to take the math challenge of the week? At malalaman na natin kung sino ang ating kauna-unahang Mathletes for quarter for week 1 sa ating Mathematics 10. Naniniwala ako na kayang-kaya nyo to because you are always matibay. So let's have our weekly math challenge for week 1. So paki-screenshot po kasi maraming dataset. Pwede ko rin po itong i-post sa ating GC. Magsabi lang po kung kayo hindi pa rin part ng ating official group chat. Magsabi po sa amin nila Tutor Ruel, Tutor of Hill. Ayan. So this is all about this dataset shows the region and their corresponding average expenditure per family, which is expressed in thousands. So halimbawa, nakalagay dyan 369, that means 369,000. Yung average expenditure ng family na nasa National Capital Region. So medyo maliit lang yan, pwede pong i-zoom at i-screenshot. Ngayon, ang tanong po ay ito, which region is at the 80th percentile based on the given dataset? Papakita nyo po yung solution ha, hindi lang, halimbawa pag pinost nyo po ito publicly, hindi lang nakalagay yung sagot na name of the region, but you have to show your complete solution. How were you able to identify that this is the correct answer? So which region is at the 80th percentile based on the given dataset? So again, ilalagay po ninyo ang inyong name, complete name, school name, wag pong i-acronym, use the hashtag Math10Challenge, Tutor of Hill, Tutor Ruel, Tutor Joy on your post. So kung hindi pa namin kayo friend, hindi namin makikita kagad ang post ninyo kung hindi ito naka-public. So we advise that you will set your post publicly and use these hashtags for us to see and check your answers. So again, take a screenshot of this slide and answer the question or the challenge, which region is at the 88th percentile? 80th po 80th percentile based on the given dataset. So we're solving for the value located at P sub 80. Ayan. Ma'am, pa-add po. Sige po, yung mga hindi pa naka-add sa ating group chat, mag-message po sa ating comment section para ma-identify ko po ang inyong account name. Again, so this is our quarter for week 1 weekly math challenge. Another episode is finished and hopefully you were able to learn another lesson, another new discoveries for today's episode. So, this has been your Tutor Joy from SDO Caloocan City. Just a simple reminder po that tomorrow, April 23, 2022, will be the deadline of deadline for sending your nominations for quarter 3 exemplary tutors, and you can find the Google form by scanning this QR code. Pwedeng scan nyo yung QR code or by simply visiting the link, itong shortened link natin, yung bit.ly ETUlay Q3 form. So again, support your tutors by nominating them as exemplary tutors for quarter 3. Tomorrow is the deadline. So hopefully makapag-send po tayo ng nomination. And for the important dates for the fourth quarter, paki-screenshot na rin ito. Mukhang may bakasyon na 2 linggo ang ating mga estudyante during the election-related activities. Once again, this is Tutor Joy Villarreal from Caloocan National Science and Technology High School, SDO Caloocan City, reminding everyone that learning math is more fun when you can see and appreciate its beauty. See you again next episode, next session. Hopefully, nandito na ulit si Tutor Ruel. Bye, Mathletes!
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag #ETUlayLevelUp. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!